For the random process section, we are asking for information pertaining to how your company manages its DoD drug and alcohol random program. There are 5 sections to complete where we will be asking you for information such as the type of random pool that you're currently administrating, if you are a member of a consortium pool, what frequency you perform randoms at, and 2 follow-up questions on the selection of employees and the scientific method that you used when making said random selections. Let's go ahead, we'll go through each section to briefly talk about what's required. This first section details with the type of pool that your company is entered into. You can see here that each of the 5 DOT modes is present. You simply need to check the corresponding modes for which your pool is currently under. I'll go ahead and I'll check each one of these just so that you can see that as I do so, a series of text boxes will appear. Now, for both PHMSA and USCG or Coast Guard, there is no box for a random alcohol rate. Neither of these 2 modes currently require random alcohol testing. All that you need to do, again, is select the mode that you're currently being tested under. Let's go ahead, we'll unselect these, and we'll just leave PHMSA there. And for my random rate, I'm going to go ahead and put 50%. Now, once I click out here, you're going to notice that the red text listed directly below the pool type will disappear, noting that I've completed this section. Now, scrolling on down a little bit, we're going to get to the consortium pool section. A consortium pool is a type of pool that is ran by a third-party drug and alcohol testing provider. Another name for such providers could be a TPA. One type of service that a TPA or consortium may offer is that they administrate a pool where multiple employers are lumped into one. This means that the burden for random testing is spread among the pool members, instead of being in a company pool where your company itself would be responsible for meeting the 50% random rate. If you are in a pool with just your own employees, then from the drop-down box, we're going to go ahead and you would select No. If you are within a consortium pool, and we go back and we'll go ahead and select this over to Yes, you'll see that we get a couple more options here. The first is to select the mode for which the consortium pool type, just like you did above. Those could be the same or they could be different. The second is a request for a letter to be sent to NCMS from your consortium. In that letter, the consortium needs to confirm your status within the consortium pool, along with supplying a statistical data report on said pool. You will need to upload this letter by clicking here in the select box, navigating to the letter, and uploading it. Let's go ahead, we'll just select No, that we're not in a consortium pool, and then we're going to move down to the random selection frequency. Here, you're going to go ahead and select whether or not you're going to perform randoms either monthly or quarterly. Let's go ahead and we'll just select that we do quarterly. Now, we're going to move on to the next section, and we have one here that details alternate draws. Here, it is asking when you make a random selection if you make an alternate or a backup in the case that the main selection is unable to test. If you go ahead and you select Yes, it will note that the item has been completed. However, if you go ahead and select No, a text box will appear, and you will need to detail how you ensure that a random selection is done each period if the main is unable to test. Let's go ahead and we're going to click Yes. Go ahead and we'll complete the item. And now we're down onto the final section that's going to ask us to provide some information on the scientific process that you utilize to perform randoms. We have a few common options from the drop-down menu. The first, the random number generator, could either be an internal Microsoft Access or Excel table that utilizes a random number method, or even a third-party service such as randomizer.org that uses a similar service. There is another method called a random number table, and that's kind of an older method where we have this grid-like matrix of numbers that you have to select from. This, again, is kind of an older method that's not used very often, but we do list it here just in case you happen to use it. We also have a third option of Other, and if we go ahead and select that, it'll open a text box where you can go ahead and put some information to elaborate on how the process that you utilize is a scientific one as required by DOT. Let's go ahead. We'll go back from the drop-down menu. We'll just select that we use the random number generator. And again, it's going to note that we've completed the random selection process section. After you get all the answers completed, please note that there are 3 statements located directly above the Save button. These statements provide some context on what we asked before, such as random testing should be reasonably spaced throughout the calendar year, and that at a minimum it must be done quarterly, that you must keep copies of random draws for audit purposes, and failing to manage the random program as required could result in the removal of your satisfactory status. Once you have reviewed these statements and everything looks great, you can go ahead and click the Save button to complete the item. And this completes our walkthrough. Please contact us if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Thank you.